Hi, I'm Joanne Newborn with Newborn Evolution for those of you who might not know me. This is video number 2 in my 3-part education series on attaining your goals. Now, in video number 1, we talked about visions and goals. And in video number 2, we are going to talk about subconscious drivers. Now, you might be thinking, what the heck is a subconscious driver? So buckle up. I'm going to tell you something that you may or may not believe. 99% of human beings are being run on a daily basis by their subconscious minds. You may or may not believe this, but I'm going to give you an example. So when you get up in the morning and you get ready for work, you are basically on autopilot. You get up, you take a shower, you make the coffee, you get dressed, but your mind is going a million miles an hour, thinking about hundreds of other things, and yet you still get dressed and get out of the house. That's because your subconscious mind knows very well how to do that for you. And you don't have to think about every day, how do I put on my socks? You just know how to do it automatically. So mainly, our whole lives are being driven like this. You see, we all have something that's called an ego. And its whole function is to keep us safe. And so we survive. So from a very young age, it starts filing information away as good or bad. And everything that's labeled good becomes the wonderful mask that we show to the world of who we are. And everything that's labeled bad gets filed away in our subconscious mind somewhere in the darkness. And we can't see it anymore. But we do see these things reflected in other people, and it's the people that really piss us off the most or trigger us, and they're reflecting back to us the things that have been filed away as bad by our subconscious mind. Now, I don't want to get too complicated in this very introductory video, but I will give you an example from what I spoke about in the first video on visions and goals. And I had shared with you that my vision has always been to own a house. So with this in mind, my entire life, I also thought that you can only own a house if you're married with a family. And I had this really strict blueprint in my mind that you can not own a house alone as a single woman. There's something just very wrong about that. And I held on very strongly to this belief until I worked with my coach. And yes, I have a coach. And my coach really triggered me, and she pissed me off when she presented this idea of me owning a house by myself. But that was the secret sauce that started to open up my mind and let in the light into where the darkness is and make this dream a possibility. So my ego had hidden, you can't own a house alone. Why? Because that's what I saw around me growing up. Married people with families owned houses. I don't have one example in my entire life of a single woman owning a house. So why would I think that that was possible? What would society think? What would my friends and family think? Am I a loser? Am I a loner? Am I a spinster? ew, that's just horrible. And that's what my mind was telling me. So of course I would think, absolutely not. There is no way in the world that I am going to own a house by myself. It just doesn't happen. Not for me. And all of these thoughts were subconscious drivers that told me every single day, even though my dream, my entire life, was to own a house with a backyard and a fire pit and a barbecue and have lots of parties and have people over and have wine tastings and sleepovers, even though I had this vision, it was not possible for me to do this just because my mind told me that single women do not do this. And you can only have this if you're married. Period. The end. So these are also called limiting beliefs. Beliefs that we have deep inside of us that we think are absolutely definitive. But guess what? The only person that makes it definitive is us, is ourselves. That's it. Our own mind. No one else makes it definitive. So this is just one tiny example, but just know we're doing this every single day. And I'm sure that you have witnessed people that are constantly sabotaging themselves. They're on their path towards their dreams and boom, suddenly they just take a left-hand turn and sabotage themselves. Those are subconscious drivers. And I wrote an article recently about Roseanne Barr and how she can't stop sabotaging herself. And it's on my website, newbornevolution.com, in my blog section. And I talk more about subconscious drivers, and I give another very specific example how her self-sabotage may have worked. And we don't even realize that we're doing these things to ourselves. We can't see them. And I'm going to be honest, that's why having a coach is so vital to actually making your visions come to fruition. I never, ever would have considered buying a house alone until my coach started to work with me and open up the possibilities and open up the idea of this very definitive absolutely not that was in my mind. Otherwise, I never would have thought it was possible. So I'm going to give you some homework. I want you to think about your vision and goals, which I asked you to write down in the last video. And I want you to look at your results. What are your results when it comes to your vision and goals? And then I want you to start to think about the voice that's going on in your mind that pops up and what it's saying when you get close to attaining your vision and goals. Is there something there? Like in my example, that's an absolute no. That's an absolutely definitive, you can't have this just because. Or does your mind say, yeah, but? That's my mind's favorite thing to say. Yeah, but. Like, I want this. And my mind goes, I know, but yeah, but. You can't because. So think about that. Really start to listen to the voice in your mind and what it's saying when you think about going out of your comfort zone. And I also recommend, again, that you write these things down and start to think about it in that sense. And so in my next video, we're going to focus on putting an action plan in place to work with our subconscious drivers so that we can achieve our vision and goals. So until then, I'm wishing you lots of love and light and leadership. Bye.